Hey, it's been a while. I actually don't have anything to say. I just wanted to flex my new lighting and that I can use chroma key now. Uh, but let's talk about state of today's cinema, shall we? So if you were to go on the site of your local cinema right now, what you'll probably find is most likely a cheap-ass horror, a PG-rated film that no one will ever see, and of course, the topic of today's video, remakes and reboots. Oh yes, don't you love remakes? Your favorite films remade with new technology, with better visuals, and most likely a new cast, since the last one is probably dead at this point. So, for starters, there isn't anything inherently wrong with remakes and reboots. It's just a reimagining of a successful film or a franchise, or sometimes a continuation of their story. So with that, let's begin with our first film that nobody cares for its existence, the Avatar 2. So, for the sake of this video, I have not watched the first Avatar, and I do not intend on watching the second one, which means this is solely based on a trailer, which means it's entirely ill-informed and should not be taken as endorsement or otherwise. So what does Avatar 2 has to offer? So, we start off with the scene of this guy soy-jacking at the site of floating islands of Pandora. This is roughly how I looked when I found out this film is out in cinemas.
You should see your faces.
This turns out to be a recycled scene from the 2009 trailer. Oh, fantastic. Then we get our first look at the blue people, and I can confirm they are bluer than in the first one. We did it, Reddit. We made blue people bluer. James Cameron, you did it. You're a hero. There are a few scenes of the scenery, which is pretty nice, I would say. Then we learned, and unlike in the 2009 film where they did it with their hair, they are doing it with their hands, as we can deduce from this beautiful scene of an orgy. Very nice. What I've noticed when I was looking at the trailers back to back is that there is a lot of straight up reused scenes from the first film. Like here, this fighting scene, this helicopter scene, this arrow scene. Like, bro, and the only difference is the color saturation, which is another thing very noticeable. The new trailer looks like it was rendered in fucking Fortnite. It's full of eye candy. You can clearly see that with this new film, James Cameron was targeting a lot younger and therefore probably a lot wider audience. A global phenomenon. Yeah, right. I mean, sure, yeah, Avatar is still sitting on the top of the box office most grossing films of all time, but that does not mean that it's the best film, and most importantly, the most memorable film. Most people that saw the original Avatar in 2009 probably don't remember that they saw it back then, and this just came out of nowhere for them. Most of the people that will probably go see this film or will give this film a lot of publicity are the people that memed it 3 years ago, when it was released that James Cameron was making fucking 5 new or 6 new, I don't know, a lot of new Avatar films, where the first one was just forgot a year later. So speaking of things that came out of nowhere, death. Am I on the list yet? Good. So Black Panther was another film, very popular, that I unfortunately did not see. This time, unfortunately, because I really wanted to see it actually, because I heard a lot of good things about it. It brought not only Marvel stans, but the film geeks alike. It was genuinely good film from what I've heard. But Unfortunately, 2 years after the premiere of the film, we lost the main actor that played the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, to colon cancer. It was a huge tragedy because he was genuinely a capable actor and probably a good person. But as they say, the show must go on. So here we got in 2022 the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So right off the bat, I don't see anything wrong with the trailer. It sells the film pretty well. It builds tension, it shows the circumstances that if you've seen the last one would probably understand. But yeah, it's pretty good. And it's nice to see that Dr. Watson is still kicking around. So as we can see, there are good, there are bad reboots and remakes. For example, my favorite beloved show... Hold on. What? Get anything to say? To the people? To the masses? Huh? Very insightful, thank you. I'll let you know. That was Noodle, don't worry about them. So, for example, my beloved show, How I Met Your Mother, that I'm actually on the full rewatch of, has gotten a reboot after 8 years called How I Met Your Father, which is kind of a spin-off. So let's see how that went, shall we? That's not very... It's even worse when you know the original lore behind. But there are good remakes. Maybe not the film, but the game Stanley Parable. Fantastic game that most of us probably remember from childhood. It's a phenomenal game, and earlier this year it received a remake with some additional content written by the guy that wrote the original Stanley Parable back when it was a Half-Life mod. There is actually a great interview with Davey Redden, the writer behind Stanley Parable, made by Dog, his actual brother, where they play the new game and talk about the development. So if you're interested in game dev or just want to listen to a really cool, light-hearted interview about a great game, go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. So there are good, there are bad remakes and reboots, but at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it just solely depends on who was behind it. If it's a team of money-hungry big suits, it's probably not going to be what you want it to be. But when it's a team of people actually passionate about the original, that want to bring the people the actual experience as close to the bone while still remaining creative and original, then you might want to give it a try. So as a few words to the community, I'm still working on a big project that has been boggling my mind for months now. I'm roughly halfway there, so please stay tuned for that. I'm still going to make videos like this whenever an idea pops into my head, because I really enjoy making them. If you like film related stuff, you can stick around, see my Batman video. And if you have any ideas for what you might want to see, feel free to leave them down below. Fuck, I'm turning into a YouTuber. Yeah, so that's kind of it. Bye!